Welcome to Learners Prep. In this session, we'll learn the concept of ratio and proportion. This is the first session in this topic. First of all, let us see what is a ratio. A ratio is defined as the comparison of two quantities of the same units. So, when you are comparing the two quantities, they should be in the same units. That comparison is called a ratio. So, for example, if A and B are two quantities and they should be in the same units, then their ratio, it can be denoted as A colon B or A by B or A to B. In these three ways, we can denote a ratio. Colon is read as A is to B. Say for example, the ratio of 2 apples to 3 bananas is written as, using a colon, it is written as 2 is to 3. Using the word 2, it is written as 2 to 3. And using a fraction, it is written as 2 by 3. In these three ways, we can denote a ratio. And in a ratio A is to B, A is called the first term or antecedent, and the second term is called the consequent. So these are the names of first and second terms in a ratio. So in the ratio 5 is to 9, it is written as 5 by 9. Antecedent is 5, consequent is 9. What are equivalent ratios? So when you multiply or divide the two terms of a ratio by the same non-zero number, the ratio does not change. So there is no effect on the ratio. So the new ratio formed are called equivalent ratios. So let us see, for example, we are given a ratio 4 is to 5. So if the ratio 4 is to 5, if both the terms are multiplied by 2, what do we get? 8 and 5 to 10. So the new ratio formed is 8 is to 10. This is an equivalent ratio of the given ratio. Or if it is multiplied by say 3, 4 3s 12, 5 3s 15. 12 is to 15. This is another equivalent ratio. So here we are multiplying. We can also divide to find the equivalent ratio. For example, let us take the ratio 12 is to 18. If both the terms are divided by say 3, 12 divided by 3 is 4, 18 divided by 3 is 6. 4 is to 6 is equivalent ratio of 12 is to 18. Or if this ratio is divided by 6, both the terms are divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2 and 18 divided by 6 is 3. So this is another equivalent ratio. So in this way, we can find out infinite number of equivalent ratios of a given ratio by multiplying or dividing. Next is a compound ratio. The compound ratio of the two ratios A is to B, C is to D, and one more third ratio E is to F can be found by multiplying all the first terms and by multiplying all the second terms. So the first term of the compound ratio is A into C into E, that is ACE. Second term of the compound ratio is B into D into F, that is BDF. So the compound ratio can be found by multiplying all the first terms and all the second terms. Duplicate ratio. So duplicate ratio can be obtained by squaring the terms. So A is to B, the duplicate ratio is A square is to B square. Next is subduplicate ratio. So it can be obtained by square root by finding the square root to both the terms. A is to B. The subduplicate ratio is root of A is to root of B. Next is triplicate ratio. Triplicate ratio can be obtained by cubing the terms. A is to B. The triplicate ratio is A cube is to B cube. Similarly, subtriplicate ratio can be obtained by finding the cube root to both the terms. A is to B. Subtriplicate ratio is cube root of A is to cube root of B. So these are the different types of ratios. So next we are combining the ratios. How to combine the two given ratios. So here we are given the two ratios, A is to B and B is to C. So to combine the two ratios, there must be a common term between the two ratios. So for these two given ratios, what is the common term? We have B as a common term in both the ratios. Now let us see how to combine these two ratios. So you can look at the figure here. Write down the two ratios one below the other such that the common term is one below the other. So we can combine the ratios by multiplying the terms A and B, that gives the first term, B and B, that gives the second term, B into C, that gives the third term. So these are the three terms of the combined ratio, A into B, B into B and B into C. So these are the three terms of the combined ratio. So this is to combine the two ratios, A is to B and B is to C. Here B is the common term in both the ratios. Similarly, we can also combine the three ratios also in the same procedure. So to combine the three ratios, first we need to combine the first two ratios and then combine the third ratio. So look at the figure here. So first of all, we have to combine the two ratios as we discussed just now. We will get A is to B is to C and then write C is to D such that the common term C is one below the other. And then multiply the first terms, A into C, that gives the first term. Next, B into C gives the second term, C into C gives the third term and C into D gives the fourth term of the combined ratio. So these are the four terms, A is to B is to C is to D, four terms of the combined ratio. So in this way, we can combine the any number of given ratios using the same procedure. So next is a proportion. When two ratios are equal, we say that they are in proportion. The equality of two ratios is called proportion. If the two ratios A is to B is equal to C is to D, so we write it as A is to B, two colons. So that is the symbol of proportion. A is to B proportion C is to D. And we say that A, B, C and D are in proportion. So in this proportion, the extreme terms, so one to the extreme left and other to the extreme right, they are called extremes. And the terms which are in the middle, B and C, they are called mean terms, extremes and means. And in a proportion, there is a rule which must be obeyed in a proportion. So what is that rule is? Product of means must be equal to product of extremes. So then only we can say that the four terms are in proportion. So what are the means here? B and C. Their product B into C must be equal to product of the extremes A and D. So this is a rule of proportion. Fourth proportional. So if the four terms A, B, C, D are in proportion, the last one, fourth one, is called the fourth proportional. And when only three terms are in proportion, So that means one term is repeated again, B is repeated again. So then we say that B is called the mean proportion. So here if you apply the rule of proportion, product of means is equal to product of extremes. If you apply that rule here, we get B square is equals to AC. So in this proportion, when three terms are in proportion, the last one C is called third proportional to A and B. So next is the types of proportion. There are two types of proportion. One is a direct proportion and other is inverse proportion. The direct proportion occurs when an increase in one quantity causes an increase in another. So when you are comparing the two quantities, when one quantity increases, the other also increases the same ratio, we say that they are in direct proportion. Say suppose if x and y are in direct proportion, x is equal to k into y. So here k is a constant and we write it as x proportion y. So this is the symbol for proportion. In the same way, inverse proportion occurs when an increase in one quantity causes decrease in another. Say suppose x and y are inversely proportional. So when they are in inverse proportion, their product is a constant. X into y is equal to k. And it is written as x proportion 1 by y. Since they are inverse proportion, we write 1 by y. So these are the two types of proportions. Now let us solve some questions based on these concepts. Question number 1. Practice question 1. So in this question, A is to B is given as 2 is to 3. B is to C is given as 2 is to 1. Then what is A is to C? So A is in the first ratio, C is in the second ratio. So to find out A is to C, we have to combine the two ratios. So let us use the procedure to combine the ratios. So write down the two ratios, one below the other. 2 is to 3 and then B is to C is 2 is to 1. Now we need to combine these two ratios. 2 should be multiplied by 2, 3 should be multiplied by 2, 3 should be multiplied by 1. So 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3. So these are the terms A, B and C. So our question is to find out A is to C. So A is to C is 4 is to 3. So out of the given options, B is the right answer. Now let us move on to the second question. The second question, it is given that A is to B is 3 is to 2 and A is to C is 1 is to 4. Then A is to B is to C is. So that means we have to combine the two ratios. So in these two ratios, what is the common term? A is the common term. So we need to write two ratios, one below the other, such that the common terms are one below the other. So we should write down B, A and C. So B and A, the first ratio are 2 and 3. And in the second ratio, A and C are 1 and 4. So now we have to multiply 2 with 1, 3 with 1 and 3 with 4. So what do we get? 2 times 1, 2, 3 times 1, 3, 3 times 4 is 12. So now these are the terms. A is to B is to C is 3 is to 2 is to So out of the given options, A is the right option. Next, moving to the next question, third question. X is to Y is equal to Y is to Z. So here three terms are in proportion, X, Y and Z. So when the three terms are in proportion, so if you apply the rule of proportion, so what do you get? When X is to Y is equals to Y is to Z. So if you apply the rule of proportion, Y square is equals to XZ. Now we have to find out X cube is to Y cube. So X cube can be written as X times of X square. Similarly, Y cube can be written as Y times of Y square. So we know the value of Y square. X into X square. The value of Y square is given as what we found out, Y square value XZ. So we notice that there is X in both the ratios. So divide both the terms by X. So X will get cancelled here. So what is remaining? X square is to YZ. X square is to YZ. This is the answer. So out of the given options, what is the right option? A. A is the right option. Moving to the next question. A is to B is equals to 3 is to 5. B is to C 4 is to 6. C is to D is 3 is to 7. Then A is to D is equal to. So here A is in the first ratio, D is in the third ratio. So to find out their ratio, we have to combine the three ratios. So let us follow the procedure to combine the ratios. So here A, B, C, D. A is to B is given as 3 is to 5. B is to C is 4 is to 6. So first of all, let us combine the two ratios. Multiply 3 with 4, 5 with 4, 5 with 6. So what do we get? 3 fours 12, 5 fours 20, 5 6 30. This ratio can be simplified. So all these three terms are divisible by 2. 2 6, 2 10s, 2 15s. Now we have to combine the third ratio. C is to D is 3 is to 7. So write down C under C. 3 is to 7. So how to combine? 6 should be multiplied by 3. 10 should be multiplied by 3. 15 should be multiplied by 3. 15 should be multiplied by 7. So that is 6 times 3, 18. 10 times 3, 30. 15 times 3, 45. 15 times 7 is 105. So these are the terms A, B, C and D. So what do we have to find out? A is to D. So what is A here? 18. What is D here? 105. So both these terms are divisible by 3. So if you divide both of them by 3, 18 divided by 3 is 6. 105 divided by 3 is 35. So this is A is to D. Out of the given options, A is the right answer. So this is how we combine the three ratios. Now let us move on to the question number 5. The ratio of A to B is 6:7 and that of B to C is 3:5. If A is equal to 900, C equals what? So let us write down the given data. A, B, C. A to B is 6:7. B to C is 3:5. So let us combine the two ratios. Multiply 6 and 3, 7 and 3, 7 and 5. So 6 times 3, 18. 7 and 3, if you multiply, you will get 21. 7 and 5, if you multiply, 35. Now, we have to find out the ratio of A and C. A is to C is 18 is to 35. A value is given as 900. We need to find out the value of C. So, if you apply the rule of proportion here, product of means is equal to product of extremes. So, that is 35 times 900 is equals to 18 times C. So, if 18 transposes to left side, we get 35 into 900 by 18. So, 18 5s 90 and carries 0. So, 18 cancels 900 50 times. So, now if you simplify this, C value is 35 into 50. That is 1750. This is the value of C. So, out of the given options, D is a right answer. Moving on to the next question, question number 6. So, here we have all the fractions, the given ratios. A is to B is 2 by 3 is to 4 by 9. B is to C is 5 by 6 is to 10 by 9. C is to D is 3 by 5 is to 6 by 7. Then the ratio A is to B is to C is to D is. So, when the ratios are given as fractions, we have to convert them into whole numbers. So, let us take first ratio. A is to B is 2 by 3 is to 4 by 9. So, to convert these fractions into whole numbers, both the terms should be multiplied by the LCM of the denominators. For 3 and 9, 9 is the LCM because 9 is a multiple of 3. So, if you multiply both the terms by 9, what do we get? 2 by 3 into 3, 4 by 9 into, 2 by 3 into 9, 4 by 9 into 9. So, 3 times 3, 9 times 1. So, what is remaining here? 2 times 3, 6 is to 4. So, if 6 and 4 both are divided by 2, so what do we get? If you simplify, 3 is to 2. Next, similarly, the second ratio, B is to C. 5 by 6 is to 10 by 9. The LCM of 6 and 9 is 18. So, both fractions should be multiplied by 18. 10 by 9 into 18. 6 times 3, 18. 9 times 2, 18. So, what do you get? 5 3s 15. 10 times 2, 20. 15 and 20 both are divisible by 5. 5 times 3, 15. 5 times 4, 20. So, the final ratio is 3:4. The same way, the third ratio C:D, 3/5:6/7. So 5 and 7 are co-primes. Their product is their LCM. 35, 5 into 7, 35 is their LCM. 3/5 into 35, 6/7 into 35. 5 times 7, 7 times 5. So that is 3 7s are 21, 6 5s 30. 21 and 30, both of them are divisible by 3. 3 7s are 3 10s are. So now we got the three ratios. We need to combine them. So write down the ratios, one below the other. A:2B is 3:2. B:2C is 3:4. So how to combine? 3 should be multiplied by 3. 2 should be multiplied by 3. 2 should be multiplied by 4. That is 3 3s 9, 2 3s 6, 2 4s 8. So now again we have to combine the third ratio, C:D, that is 7:10. So how to combine? 9 should be multiplied by 7, 6 should be multiplied by 7, 8 should be multiplied by 7, and 8 should be multiplied by 10. 9 sevens 63, 6 sevens 42, 8 sevens 56, 8 tens 80. So what is the final ratio? 53:42:56:80. So this is the combined ratio of ABCD. So out of the given options, option D is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. A:2B+C is equal to 2:5. And the second ratio C:A+B is 3:4. Then B:2A+C is equal to what? So here we know A:2B+C. It can be written as a fraction A/B+C is equal to 2/5. Similarly, the second ratio C/A+B can be written as a fraction 3/4. So from the first ratio, we know the value of A as 2. And from the second ratio, we know the value of C as 3. So from the first ratio, B+C is equal to 5. So if you substitute the value of C as 3, so we can find out the value of B as 5 minus 3, which is equal to 2. Since we know the values of A, B and C, so we can find out the required ratio. That is B:A+C. B value 2, A+C is 2 plus 3, which is equal to 2:5. So out of the given options, option C is the right answer. Next, question number 8. X:y is equal to 3:4. Then 7x plus 2y is to 7x minus 2y is equal to what? So from the given ratio, x:y is equal to 3:4. We have to find out the ratio of these two expressions, 7x plus 2y and 7x minus 2y. Simply substitute the values of x and y as 3 and 4 in the expressions. X value is 3 and y value is 4. Similarly, in the second term, 7 times 3, 2 times 4. Simplify this. 21 plus 8. 21 minus 8. This is 29. This is 13. This is the final answer. 29 is to 13. Option D is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. 4x is equals to 6y is equals to 9z. Then what is x is to y is to z? 4x is equals to 6y is equals to 9z. So if you consider the first two terms, 4x is equal to 6y. So if you transpose variables to one side and constants to the other side, x by y is equals to 6 by 4, which is equal to 3 by 2. So that means x is to y is equals to 3 is to 2. So if you consider the second and third terms, 6y is equals to 9z. So if you transpose variables to one side and constants to the other side, y by z is equals to 9 by 6. So 3 3s, 3 2s. So that means this is equal to 3 is to 2. So since we know the two ratios x is to y and y is to z, we can combine them. X, y and z. X is to y is 3 is to 2. Similarly, y is to z is also equal to 3 is to 2. So to combine, 3 should be multiplied by 3, 2 with 3 and 2 with 2. 3 3 is 9, 2 3 is 6, 2 2 is 4. So this is x is to y is to z. 9, 6 and 4. So option B is the right answer. Moving on to the next question, question number 10. Here the three ratios P is to Q, R is to S, P is to U. So all these three ratios are equal to 3 is to 5. He is asking to find out the ratio of the two expressions. So three ratios are equal to 3 is to 5. P is to Q, R is to S and T is to U. All these three are equal to 3 is to 5. So that means P, R, T. All these three are equal to 3. Similarly, Q, S and U. These three are equal to 5. Simply substitute these values in the required expression. For P, P value is 3. 7R, R value is also 3. 2T, T value is also 3. Is 2. Now, for Q, Q is 5. 7S, S is also 5. 2U, U is also 5. Now, simplify this. 4 3 is 12. 7 3 is 21. 2 3 is 6. 4 5 is 20. 7 5 is 35. 2 5 is 10. So this is 39. This is 65. 39 is to 65. This is the answer. Option A is the right answer. So these are all the problems based on combining the ratios and the ratios using the expressions and variables. So we can solve some more questions. We'll solve some more questions in the next session. Thank you.